When I first started taking photos and videos, I struggled with finding interesting frames to capture. At first I thought I needed fancy transitions or the best gear to make my videos look cinematic. But what I realized was a little change in perspective and knowing what to look for can make the biggest difference when filming interesting frames in everyday life. Some of my favorite shots I've ever taken were unscripted, just everyday moments that I was able to capture on camera. The light hitting my desk at a certain time of day, my dog running through the park, or going out on a photo walk with my friends. Of course, you can plan things like lighting, set design, and composition, but sometimes it's just fun to grab your camera and just document life. I found an approach that's a good starting point to capturing everyday moments and make them look cinematic. The easy way. A good exercise that I like to do before hitting record is to think about the emotion I want to convey. For me, I like to make my videos feel nostalgic, like you're rewatching an old memory. And I like to think about this feeling as sort of like a guideline when I'm filming. Whatever your style of video is, it might help to think about that feeling or vibe when shooting. And within the video, you can have multiple different sequences, each with their own unique feeling. This idea of making the viewer feel something when watching your videos or even looking at a photo can elevate that piece of work just a little bit from just looking like a nice image. This can also help you when shooting because it makes you look at the world through the lens of that feeling. Fast-paced, maybe you shoot it handheld or include movement in the shot. Or maybe it's a calm feeling. You can use static shots or symmetrical compositions. A sense of wonder, add a unique angle like a wide shot or a macro shot. Or maybe you want to convey a dreamy feeling. I love using the slow shutter effect. Through visual language, you can convey to the viewer the type of feeling you're trying to communicate. But don't overthink it. Sometimes I just hit record when I spot something interesting. In the edit, you can further sell this feeling with music. Music has a strong impact on the emotion of the video. I love finding inspiration for good images. I'll save everything. I save screenshots, videos from other creators on YouTube, links to short films, silly things I find on Pinterest, and even ads that align with my style or that I just find interesting. I even have a folder with my favorite screenshots from videos that I've made in the past. But a reliable place for finding inspiration for professional cinematography is FrameSet. FrameSet is a library of screenshots and stills from movies, commercials, and even music videos. I use it like Pinterest, but for professional and cinematic inspiration. You can search for very specific things, like a certain time of day, like golden hour or blue hour, settings like indoors or the streets of a city, and even different camera angles. FrameSet even allows you to save these images into different projects. I've organized my saved frames into categories like object tracking, handheld, and golden hour. These collections can be saved privately or shared with collaborators, which can be great for pre-production or sharing any projects you're working on with other people. You can even use FrameSet on mobile, which is very useful for getting references for those moments of inspiration or even scrolling for last-minute ideas.
So thank you to FrameSet for sponsoring this portion of the video.
And if you want to check out FrameSet for yourself, I'll leave a link in the description. The one thing that's made the biggest difference in my work was not upgrading gear or any fancy camera shots, but was actually my perspective on lighting. I'm always on the lookout for interesting lighting. Maybe it's the way the sunlight is coming through a window, or the way the subject is being backlit by a light source. When you start looking for interesting lighting, you start to see everyday moments a little bit differently. I get excited when I come across interesting light. And when this happens, even the mundane things can start to look interesting. So here are some interesting times of day to shoot. An easy way to find interesting lighting is at sunset or sunrise. When it comes to using natural light, this is one of my favorite times to shoot. And it's one of the easiest times of day to make your images look cinematic. The sun is low on the horizon, which gives the environment a nice, warm, and soft glow. Typically, this light won't last very long, so you want to work quick and capture golden hour while it lasts. But don't worry, after golden hour is my second favorite time of day, blue hour. The difference between the orange glow of golden hour and the dark moody shadows of blue hour give a nice contrast. And having a variety of lighting, temperatures, and exposures can make a more dynamic and interesting sequence. A quick tip: shoot on the shadow side of your subject. This creates more contrast in your frame, and typically this is how a lot of images are shot in TV and in film. Honestly, the best way to capture interesting and cinematic images in everyday life is to just start recording. Sometimes a little perspective change is all you need. So keep practicing, keep documenting, and keep creating. And if you made it this far into the video, let me know what your favorite thing to shoot is. And as always, thanks for watching.